But we went to Small Mall, and we did go to Spencer Gifts. We looked around. Little troubling. Spencer Gifts is near and dear to my heart because when I was 15 years old, I worked there for a full year. Yeah. When I got kicked out of freshman year of high school, I was kicked out of my school. People don't know this. I was kicked out for not going to class. The weird thing is they never even called my parents to say he's not going to class. They called my parents sophomore year, the beginning of sophomore year, like the first day of school, and they said, your son does not go here anymore. And they go, what? What are you talking about? They go, he doesn't attend any of these classes. We're not going to put up with it. We're sending him to a school down the street. And you won't believe this. The school down the street was in a strip center, a strip mall, in the parking lot of a Denny's diner. And in this strip mall was a little tiny store that had 15 computer stations with, no joke, Apple IIe tower computers that you put a floppy disk in. And you put in, and here was the school. You would go from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. It was like 3 hours or so. And you would sit in front of an Apple IIe and you would do Mavis Beacon Teaches Typing. That was it. Or you would go into this one creepy room and put in a VHS and watch a video. And at the end of the 3 hours, you were granted either a check or a minus. This whole place was filled with gang-affiliated Mexicans. I was in the room with a guy known as Alex Tellez, leader of the Kings, the Latin Kings. And every day, there was only one teacher. She had a cordless phone. And if you got up to no good, which everyone else did, I was there, I would sit there and I'd just be quiet. Everyone else was like a gangbanger. And the teacher had a cordless phone. And if you started acting up, she would go like this, and she'd pick up the cordless because she was telling she's going to call the cops. Okay. And it was crazy. And so one time, this kid was acting out, and the teacher started calling the cops. But everyone, when they would call the cops, they would all start yelling and throwing chairs and stuff. So the teacher had to step outside. She opens just like the door of a store, goes out into the Denny's parking lot, and she's talking on the phone. So what do? They lock her out. Click. Now she's banging, and there's only one teacher. Now it's 15 kids dancing like hyenas on the tables. I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, how is this school? You know? I couldn't wait to tell my parents. And, they're just throwing trash in the place. There was not any learning. All you had to do was not hurt the teacher, and you passed. So that school was nuts. And but my parents were very mad, obviously, that I was kicked out of the high school and sent to this crazy school. So they said, you have to get a job and spend the rest of the school day because you're only going to school for 3 hours. You have to work. So I said, okay, I'll get a job. I got myself a job at Spencer Gifts in the mall down the street. This fucking ruled. You had to be 16 to work there. I was only 15. So they asked me, are you 16? I go, of course. They go, we need your social security card. And I go, oh, boy. Now, I had burned my social security card a year prior in a campfire. I literally had burned it. Back in those days, people would carry their social security cards, or this was a thing that you were told. It was a little piece of paper with your social security number. Some of you might have it. Not me. I burned it because everyone said, oh, my God, your social security card, it's so important. You must not lose it. And I said, are you out of your mind? How could they make you keep a card? I didn't believe it. So, to torment my friends, I took it, I tossed it into a fire. They couldn't believe it. They were going, oh, my God, your social security card. I said, don't worry, I'll never need it. I promise. So they asked me, we need your social security card to get you in our system here. And I said, oh, don't worry, I'm 16. I'll get you that card. Months went by, and every week they would ask, do you have the card? I go, oh, I had to, order a new one. I lost it. And I said I didn't drive, so that's why I didn't have a license yet. Okay, so this worked. good full year they let me work there as a 15-year-old until they finally, figured out, you are not 16. Something's up. We've asked you for your goddamn proof of age for a year. We can't do this anymore. We're going to get sued. We have to let you go. I go, peace. And by that time I had 15 grand worth of Spencer Gifts merchandise that I'd stolen. I was good. And then it was great. I realized then if I got fired from the job, I go, Mom, I'm sorry. They fired me because I'm not 16. What can you do? Guess I don't have a job. So it was wonderful. It worked out for me, because I didn't want that job. It was shit. But we went back to Spencer Gifts just recently at the mall. Wonderful place. It hasn't changed a bit. The only thing that's changed is instead of South Park plush dolls, which were really big when I was working there, now the big thing is Rick and Morty. My wife said to me, what is this, the Rick and Morty store? Actually, she said that about Hot Topic. But then we went to Spencer's. It was the same deal. I like to think of Spencer's as a more luxurious Hot Topic. Okay. So when I was a kid, Hot Topic didn't exist. If it did, we would have puked. I was a punk rocker. And in my day, if you wanted to buy a punk album or a punk rock shirt, you had to go to the show. It was the only way. You had to go to an underground punk show to buy this shirt. Or you had to sign away to some mailing list to get the CD. And then they opened Hot Topic years after, where kids could go buy merchandise from punk bands. It was unbelievable. Couldn't believe it. But we went back to Spencer's. Nothing's changed, again, except they sell Rick and Morty stuff. The employees are exactly the same as what we were like. Well, what they were like. I was cool, but all my co-employees had earrings and glow earrings and stuff. And they still had that. Rick and Morty stuff. They still have a giant... If you ask someone, hey, where can I get a great lava lamp? Spencer's is the only place. They're still pushing those lava lamps. So I said, you know what? To my wife, I go, I'm going to buy you a lava lamp. $29. They haven't raised the price of lamps. This is the XL, too. I didn't get lava lamp regular. I got the XL. $29. I couldn't pass it. So we got a lava lamp. We looked around. Another chilling reveal about Spencer's is that they have extended their sex section to be really sexual. So back in the day, you would go and it would be like posters of Pamela Anderson nude, but she'd be covering her bazams, Jenny McCarthy, Carmen Electra, and you would push there was this big poster rack. They'd be in glass cases, and you would go through them and go, holy fucking shit, do you see how big her fucking, oh, I can't believe this, she's naked. And it would get you really horny. And then you'd have a bunch of gag gifts, love cups, love potion number 9, some gag cards where it was like a naked lady with giant D's, shitty D implants going, we're ready to get fucked. But now, Spencer Gifts carries butt plugs, real dildos, vagina pelvises, assholes, and it's almost like really absurd. Like, you're in the Rick and Morty section. You take 2 steps and you're buying legit butt plugs, vibrators, dildos, penis pumps, penis cords, a cord that installs into your dick to make it crazy night of love. All this crazy shit. And I'm going, it's a little inappropriate. Some kid comes in for Rick and Morty and he's going, what is all this gore? All these contraptions. I hate S&M. I hate sex toys. I hate love dolls. I've always thought that's for a sick man. Does anyone who listens to the show, are you involved in bondage or an S&M lifestyle? That's fucked up. And I don't like how HBO and the likes tries to make you think, oh no, that's like a normal funky sex. No. If you're involved any which way where you're cuffed or your mouth is taped where you can't scream, you're sick. Okay? And I need you to stop. I know there's got to be listeners out there who are involved in S&M. It's fucking nuts. And you know what's more nuts? The fact that this 50 Shades of Grey franchise thinks S&M is like, it's so bizarre to me. And it's so bizarre that all these like weird moms are like, ooh, I'm getting all hot and heated over this 50 Shades of Grey. It's S&M. That's like what Big J and weird outcasts of society do. But these old women now, because of 50 Shades of Grey, think S&M, it's what young people do. No, it's still for the crazy. It's fucking nuts. If somebody puts a giant underwear in your mouth and then tapes your mouth, I mean, you're a sick fucking person. You should be taken off the earth. It's sick. This is like Slender Man-esque. That girl who stabbed her friend because Slender Man told her to do it, that really happened. Did you hear about this? She was just sentenced 40 years in a mental hospital. Now, at this point, doesn't someone go, or you do have the choice to kill yourself? Could you imagine being sentenced to 40 years in a mental hospital? What good does that do anybody? What kind of person is coming out at the end of that 40 years? Oh, thank God I graduated the psychiatric hospital. This is cool. Oh, what were you in there for? Well, 40 years ago, do you remember Slender Man? I actually stabbed a girl to death because Slender Man, this guy told me to do it. He was a computer meme ghost. But don't worry, I've been in the mental institution for 40 years, which in itself is fucking terrifying. And now I'm out. So I would love to work at your grocery store. Is that what I'm seeing when I go to the grocery store? Is that fucking old lady? Is she just gotten out of that institute? Woo! Nothing more chilling than a mental hospital. I got my first glance at a mental hospital during Green Day's Dookie. During Do You Have the Dime? Remember that song? Do you have the time? It was shot in a mental institute. I said, this place is sick. They make you take pills out of a tiny cup. Why can't they just do the pills in your hand like a normal person? Nope. In a mental institution, you get no water and you got to take your pills out of a paper cup. 40 fucking years in a fool's institution. There needs to be a fool's institution, someone says. Yeah. Is Mike done with weed? Ugh. I hate when people think about me externally from what the topic I'm on. It's fucking chilling. Todd. Of course, Todd Detter. Is Mike done with weed? You know, Todd Detter also sent me a series of messages asking if Chula was okay because I hadn't posted about him in a while. You know, how chilling. He says, sorry. Thank you. There's not a mixer going up your butthole. It's not sex. Yes, you guys got it. So, weed is not cringe. Is that the new bit where people say things are cringe, like, and they take it really far, like, thinking is cringe. Breathing is cringe. You know what? I think doing that bit is cringe now. Okay? What do you think about that?